One more.
Hello, everyone. My name is David, and welcome to the r.e.a.l podcast. r.e.a.l stands for Remove Ego, Add Light. And today we're going to be recapping a spring update that I got, spring of 2020. And this is posting after the summer update, which happened on July 4th. The interesting difference is that I'm going to classify it earlier, but the summer update, the day I got the message from Spirit, I posted it July 4th. But the spring, I got this several months ago. This was actually my first venture into Spirit, getting messages from Spirit, because at the advent of Corona, I got laid off from my job for 30 days, and I had nothing to do with myself. And so early in the morning, I would wake up and I just got so inspired. I just put pen to paper, and when I would close my eyes, the words just flowed. So I got these messages from Spirit, and I haven't posted it yet. But the difference is, the interesting thing is, the summer message, I got the message and I posted it. Now we have the advantage of, most of these messages I'm going to read today came from April and May, and now we're in late August, and so I've got 4 months later of time that has elapsed, so I can compare the message that I got to, well, how has that unfolded? How did that predict anything? Most of the messages are about Corona, and the last thing I'll say before I get started, we might be going a little longer than the 30 minutes just because I got so many messages. And also, you may hear a little bit about the splitting of the worlds, or this idea, this concept of these 300-mile-per-hour trains that are together at the station now that are going to be diverging. That concept, that is going to be captured in a later video, which I'll probably title Splitting of the Worlds, or the 3D, 5D timeline, because some of this will overlap with that, and some of that might overlap with this. Because basically what happened with these messages of Spirit and these inspired messages I got in April and May was, when I got messages in June, they tended to be more about that splitting of the worlds and my own consciousness and growth and my own spiritual development. And so that's more of that concept, and that's why I want to capture that in another video. This is going to be today, the spring update is more about the world, just what I wanted to know, what's going on in the world. So a lot more about coronavirus, the early pandemic, the CCP. There was so much going on with China in the spring. So let's begin. Okay, so this is the first message, which I got on April the 7th. Now is a great shifting happening where the veil lifts, people walk together. China is a more difficult version of where you're at. They have a much more challenging government to overthrow than we do. But there are millions of star seeds, and star seeds they defined as it simply means deeply rooted spiritual people. There are millions of star seeds in China who have more power than the crippled CCP. So I think that was a positive prediction for the future of China. Xi Jinping will likely have to relent and acquiesce to that new star seed energy once it gets united, as the CCP is destroying itself and dissolving into nothingness, just as your old power structures are also doing. All systems are go on a very rapid transformation of planet Earth, the likes of which we've never seen before. Okay, so in that message, the interesting thing, I subscribe to channels on YouTube like The Edge of Wonder, where you got in Epic Times, where you got a really good backstory on what in the world was going on in China at the time. And it was death, destruction, and dismemberment, which gave way to the Hong Kong in the early summer. And interesting how politicians and celebrities would not, and businesses would not say anything bad about China. and about freeing Hong Kong in the summer. In the spring, it was a lot of stuff happening in Wuhan province, terrible things like the police locking residents in their houses and not allowing them to come out. People who were on the street and just appeared to just fall to drop. And we started to see the whole fifth generation thing come out with the cell phone. I'm not going to use the term, but you know what I mean. Fifth generation come out, and that whole controversy. So that was where we were at in the spring. And it's interesting because since then, we really haven't seen too much news on what's going on in China. It's really calmed down since then. Okay, this is a message from about the old power structures of the past. They are destroying the illusion of their power. They never really had it to begin with. The power has always been in the people's hands, but we didn't realize that. We thought we had to kowtow to someone more important than ourselves, someone more educated, politicians, someone more attractive, Hollywood, someone more, I'm sorry, did I say educated, academia, powerful, politicians, attractive, Hollywood. But in that pursuit of something outside of ourselves to fill up our own cup, we lost our way. Now we are in the process of getting it back. The veil is lifting and the shadows will appear. They will be nothing short of deep, dark, and disgusting. Let them be there. Do not try to hide them. That will drive the light further into our hearts so that we never under any circumstances give our power away again. So what's interesting there is this message was in April. Shortly after that, there started to be some things online about, people like Ellen DeGeneres. Did she have an ankle bracelet? Was she arrested or whatever? And but we really didn't see anything deep, dark, and disgusting until late July emerged with Wayfair and a lot of Hollywood's tweets. So we actually have 3 months later, started to see some of this stuff unfold, which is very interesting with that prophecy. Now, this is related to coronavirus. Bill Gates, he is part, that's who I asked about, he is part of an evil plan. On the surface, he is benevolent and trusted throughout the Western world. Yet we would ask you this: why would he step down from Microsoft just at the advent of Corona in America? It is because he has been planning something for a long time. Digital ID cards are a violation of free will, and you each have the free will to reject them. Now, when I got the message about digital ID cards, actually, I did not know what they were. I had to research it. So, digital ID cards, a violation of free will, and you each have the free will to reject them. You are not cattle. You are human beings. You are free to roam the planet, to learn your lessons, which ultimately is how to love one another. But can you imagine what would happen if we had tags for every inmate who rejoined society and they had to be tracked? They would become paranoid and never learn the lesson of planet Earth, how to love, because they would be stuck in first gear, not being able to overcome the energy of fear. Yeah, imagine somebody gets let out of jail, they've served their time, and they go back into society, and they've got this big ear tag that tells everybody, everywhere they go, that they were an inmate. You can see that as clear as day for the ones who are actually the guys who are all tatted up. How hard that is to rejoin society when you've done that to yourselves. And so a big deal is the removal of tattoos, especially when you've grown spiritually. So many of these guys have already learned, and girls have already learned their lesson during their sentence. Go to rejoin society, and now you're going to track them and monitor them. So it's just not, it's not right. They would become paranoid and never learn the true lesson of planet Earth, how to love, because they would be stuck in first gear, not being able to overcome the energy of fear. Instead, we allow them to They paid their time, they paid their dues, they get to rejoin society, and they get to teach those lessons to other young kids so that they don't stray. And there's so much passion there. Now it says, you are all, and this was in bold, you are all autonomous beings. You do not have to follow their orders. Their orders have a set agenda. That is why so many people are asking what's really going on and don't understand. They need to listen to themselves and their own intuition. They will get the big picture. This is on planet Earth. The path forward is always love. There is no other way. You have to have that love vibration. It is truly impenetrable by the dark forces. They simply will not be allowed to enter into your space. The angels will not let them. Let that divine light guide you, and you're doing what you need to. The egoic separation that occurs during the day does not serve you. Talking about me specifically. I had a lot of, at the time, strong meditative aspects in the morning, quiet time by myself, which gave way to frustration in the afternoons. And, with the everything gets complicated. So it was saying to drop that like a hot coal, the egoic separation, and only resonate with love. This is about Corona again. Corona will be exposed for what it is. Who is doing the exposing? We are, one day at a time. Every day, a new whistleblower comes forward who wakes up 100 people up, 1,000 people up, 10,000 people up. Keep doing that, and the powers that be don't stand a chance. Because do the math. At a month's time, 2 months' time, that's exposed well before the time that our population would starve to death. The U.S. being forced into our homes for an extraordinarily long amount of time is the equivalent of you harassing a local squirrel by not allowing it to collect food for its family and starving them as a result. That is a violation of how God set this planet up, and angels will most certainly intervene in that case. Whether millions of humans believe in angels or not does not matter. They will be doing their job assignments on this planet. And then I got in bold, the dark does not stand a chance. Okay. And this is related to the old power structures of the past. They have run their operation into the ground. The last-ditch effort has run amok. They will not succeed due to the intervention of angels who will not allow this to take place. There are no more hiding places. Arrests of a high-profile nature are imminent. So this was in this April. A lot of people speculated that we have seen arrests of Hollywood actors because we don't see them anymore anywhere. So publicly, though, even as of 4 months later, I don't think we could say we have public acknowledgement of these arrests of a high-profile nature, but they may have occurred in the background. Now, this is related to the CCP. They are inherently evil, willing to do almost anything. The dragon bloodlines are reptilian in nature. This much is certain. What is uncertain is how much certain families are willing to go along with the slaughter of innocent people. And I don't know if I got the name right, but I think it was something like Takanachi. The Takanachi dragon family, which I believe was associated with the white dragon family, but don't quote me on that. That family impresses us with their humanity. Apparently, they've witnessed much abuse in China and do not go along with it. If this family becomes in power in China, they will help humanity greatly, but it will take some time. Okay, so I would refer you as of almost September to Corey Good, who just this week got an update from the Earth Alliance and is reporting that China is on the verge of a coup inside of China. Now, I believe that is to take down Xi Jinping, who is allied with the White Dragon family, but the CCP is more specifically the Red Dragon family that has been in so-called control which actually they're not. Because if you look at, Edge of Wonder and the Epic Times talk about how China's actually always been co-ownership, certain factions, and Xi Jinping was this bridge between those two worlds. But the CCP being the more evil force, and the White Dragon and the other, I think the other dragon families aligned to be more benevolent. So this is talking about that. Corey Good is a good reference there. Now, I don't think we know exactly what's going to happen with China, but we do know there's been a huge amount of infighting, and that's witnessed with the Free Hong Kong, the suppression of Hong Kong, and a lot of things going on behind the scenes. We know that Wuhan was a stronghold of the CCP, versus Hong Kong was a stronghold of the more benevolent sides. Now, this is a general world update. There is now a free-flowing opportunity for your world to enter into the fifth dimension. This is as of late April. You will have an opportunity to sail into a new existence. Nothing can, it's talking about me personally, nothing can stop that from happening. Therein lies the deception of the 3D world, that doom has taken root and must be the story that plays out. And this says, remember Bashar's message. Remember Adronis's message. You do not need to feel pain. Others might need to feel pain, depending on where they're at with their spiritual growth. With regard to the old world order, everything is the same, and they will attempt and they will fail. It is not even close. This really aligns with Adronis's message back in the spring. Okay, so this is just a general update. So what you're experiencing now is that the old power structures of the past are not able to hold on to the narrative they were hoping for. Widespread panic and confusion, in large part due to the internet and the rise of the collective consciousness, which is still a ways away but coming on strongly. Barack Obama has been detained en route to the airport and is currently under house arrest and detention. This is late April. He is being closely monitored, though no public statements were made. So what's really interesting about this is that we hadn't heard anything from Obama, but within that next week after that, we did start to hear something from him. So he started to enter into the political discussion. So that was just fascinating. Beyond that, I'm just reporting what I heard from Spirit. Regarding the interplanetary situation, the old power structure has launched an attempt at rebel forces, but the attempt has failed. Clear passage into the Indonesian base is now imminent. A clear defeat of a old power structure fortress. Now there exists very little, if any, opportunity left for them to succeed on planet Earth, and they are already barred from leaving. They are barred from leaving planet Earth. There is no escape. They must face the wrath of the people head on. Oh, so that links with what we've heard Corey Good and other secret space whistleblowers mention, is that the guardians of the galaxy are not allowing the evildoers on planet Earth, be they humans or extraterrestrials, to escape from planet Earth. They're going to have to deal with we the people. Now, the old power structures are in control of the media and aspects of the CCP, but Israeli and papal leaders have abandoned ship and withdrawn to underground bunkers. These bunkers will see the light of day. So talking about the Israeli forces and the Pope and Rome have abandoned ship. To that degree, I believe Benjamin Fulford was reporting in June that the same thing with the Queen of England, that they are cooperating now with the Allied Earth Alliance forces. The old power structures will be unable to mount another major threat from where they stand today. With the AI and hoax invasion scenarios, we do not know how this will play out. But you are likely to find a hoax invasion, talking about a hoax alien invasion, I believe, both plausible and also ratted out via light being sources. This is a great time of awakening when the dark reality is catching up quickly to the grand illusion. AI takeover scenarios are still possible, but without the old power structure's ability to lead, since they are retreating, there will likely be defections from the dark side of the SSP. Okay, so related to that, a few months later, what Corey Goode reported, and I heard yesterday, was that of the SSP, Secret Space Alliance, that the basically there are defections, so that is occurring, and that they are spaceships that are out in outer space that are owned by the dark fleet, basically, old power structures, and they are being controlled by humans, us, that are sick of it or tired of it or done with it, that do not want to traffic children to Mars and other planets, and are actually taking over the ships and are working with the Alliance. So make your own judgment, but that's the work of Corey Goode at the Sphere Being Alliance as of yesterday. So I think that is also in alignment. Okay, now this is on the general state of affairs, and let me see the date. I think is also April. The Alliance has all but one. Earth Alliance has all but one. What you'll experience next is a transition team. It's game over. They have no chance to revert this epidemic that has blown up in their faces, and they must pay the consequences as deeper layers of corruption begin to get exposed on your planet. It will not be easy for a lot of people to deal with this. Stay aware. Okay. This is, I think, the last day of April. The people of your planet are freeing themselves. There is much wisdom to be gained from the dark shadows. You are all uncovering now. Your dreams were symbolic of the dark falling out of grace. The second dream was about my dream was about spiritual portals in which you're slowly ascending into, and the uncovering of the children is a major portion of the ascent. So it's talking, and that has been uncovered in July 2020. So much stuff about the children has come out. Still not too much about the underground bases, although adrenochrome is now, it's out there. It's not out there if you search on Google, but if you search on a benevolent site like DuckDuckGo, that's much preferred to the malevolent search engines like Google. Okay, now this is an Earth update, and I think these two last messages. It's talking about Mother Earth. Gaia, she is in much pain, but the heartbeat is strengthening. She will prevail. It will take some suffering yet to come, but she is ready to make the journey. Okay, now this is maybe a little personal, but I'm going to go ahead and read it. What you have experienced is a deep connection based on a deep longing that you've had in your heart. Your journey is a spiritual one in which you have many avenues you've yet to unlock. You'll find many more in the near future, which will allow you to help multitudes of people. Think of it like an Oreo, which doesn't know its orientation. Is an Oreo black or is it white? It's both. And once it realizes that, it will discover the great facade of humanity that has been used to deceive you for many thousands of years through the idea of separation. It is just an idea, an illusion. There is no truth that You are separate from another human being. You're highly connected to all of creation. And so what's happened this summer, starting with the George Floyd riots in June, it's been a summer of separation. And we're heading into the fall now, and late summer, and I got a message that that's not going to happen, but the separation has taken root, and a lot of people have believed that they are separate from another because of their skin color. So that about the Oreo is very fascinating, and connecting this. And this is the last message, guys. This is leading into the summer. What you will experience, this is predicting into the summer. What you will, I'm sorry, let me read this one as well. This is related to the old power structures in China as well. You are seeing a great awakening on your planet. At this point, the veil has almost lifted. There are still fragments of your society that are going along with the media narrative, but the vast majority has awakened to the understanding that something is not right here, even as they don't understand exactly what it is. And this is in spring. Now it's in the summer, and people know what's up. People know so much of the corruption and the deceit that has happened on the planet. So the truth of the lies from your media and many in your government will be fully exposed within the next 30-day period. This prolonged delay in allowing the population to go back to work will increasingly not be tolerated. It does appear at this time that many within the media itself will become whistleblowers to expose the lies that have occurred and how they cover up certain stories that don't fit the narrative. That has opened up a great chasm in your collective media, as many of the younger, more altruistic members of your media are forced to conduct a lie to the American population, where there is a great internal battle with their conscience. They will be the first to break free from these assignments, much as the Google whistleblowers have done in years past. That will likely be the straw that broke the camel's back, as the media cannot logically propose a valid argument to the American public when several current members of its team have broken rank. Indeed, fully exposed the lie for all to see. This was in the spring. So in the summer, we did see the resignation of Barry Weiss from the New York Times, as well as Ariana Peccary from MSNBC. Now, Ariana actually went on record when she left, and she either called the corporate media a poison or a cancer. I can't remember which, but take your pick. So I don't think we've seen the straw that broke the camel's back yet. Keep in mind, there's also an ABC whistleblower that's at large who still works for ABC. The whole thing last year with Jeffrey Epstein and Amy Robach scandal, that was released by a whistleblower. The CBS, poor girl from CBS that got fired, was not the whistleblower. This is somebody who still works at ABC. So this is legit. There are altruistic members, millennial media members who do not get into journalism. And I hate this idea that people just hate the media and think that they're all evil. We've got people in the streets storming the CNN center to protest and say, you need to talk about the children. You're not talking about the children, the pedophilia. True, but we can't label all media as evil, particularly as these whistleblowers emerge. My constant guidance is that more and more of these whistleblowers are going to emerge, and they are also going to lead to a new media that is free of all of this. And this is the final message, so we should keep it on time. What you will experience is next, talking about into the summer, is a great flowering of human consciousness. Whatever darkness is exposed to the light itself becomes light. In the agrarian sense, the weeds have been plucked in the spring so that the crops can fully develop and ripen in the summer sunlight. This process will unfold, and nothing anyone on the dark side or any other evil power attempts to do to stop it will prevail. It is time to have the faith that what you have planted, your vision for collective humanity based in purity and light, will become a bountiful harvest of righteousness in the fall. Okay, maybe getting into a fall prediction there. This was the spring. Okay, and what's interesting there was, I thought of April as very interesting because with April, you really kind of had a time where, coronavirus took off, yes, but there was also a lot of backlash to Bill Gates and the ideas he was coming out with, these vaccines, making them mandatory. It immediately got rejected, and with the power of the internet, it had to be taken back. They had to backstep on that. So in May, and then in June, the whole George Floyd situation exploded, and the feeling as an intuitive, there was a lot of division and separation and strife there, and backlash to anti-American sentiment. They're starting to take down statues and stuff. And then into the summer, after the summer solstice and that mid-year update, that was what I was talking about. We're planting seeds, and we were going to have a bountiful harvest in the fall. And so I do think it ended up being a positive summer, because in July, a lot of the corruption with the children has gotten exposed. And so that's a huge benefit to us. And it is, I see that leading to a bountiful harvest in the fall. And also where we're at is these Antifa and these BLM protests and these violence and hurting and killing and spilling of blood of innocent life all around the country has really turned a lot of people who would otherwise not vote for Trump or not were anti-American to a large degree to say no. I'm sick of all this violence, and so I can see how that's played out too. So I thought that was the last message, but I do have one final message. Time has shifted monumentally on your planet. An evil threat has been eradicated and will never return to your planet. These were souls which were enslaved of high-ranking members of your government, media, and popular figures in our society. Brad Johnson is much correct in what he is reporting. Thus, many public figures will be gone and will never come back. This is why. And so we did get that from, I believe it was Brad Johnson and others, talking about how there are a lot of the people that have been doing wrong behind the scenes and under the surface have been eradicated from the planet. So I don't have any specifics on that, but at any rate, that is completes the spring update, and I think overall it's proven to, a lot of those messages have proven to come true. So we'll see what happens moving forward. Take care. Have a good day.